Howdy. Another hot summer day, but we're back on the river. I don't know why it's been so long. Maybe because it's been so hot. It can be closer to 100 today than to 90. It's already about 90 now. Big old gar. Anyway, back on the river for the third time this year. Gonna go a little further upstream and see if we can make something happen. Couldn't decide what I wanted to do today, and I figured being on the river on a hot day was not the worst thing I could do. So, DW Verts, Hickbilly Outdoors. We'll see if we can find anything cool today on the hot river. I can't believe it. I made my first stop faster, a little quicker than I'd intended, because this gravel bar here was not here years back. This is a new gravel bar. This is from the way things change and play out. I passed it up last time I was here. It's not very big. I'm gonna take a quick look at it. It said it was never, this just was just straight up down banks 10, 20 years ago. So that's my point of just give it a quick walkthrough, because you just never know. So it's not very big. It shouldn't take very long. I'll zigzag it up here and I'll come back on the water. Every time I do this in the summer, I get out here and I get to thinking I need to get me one of those, or some of those sweatbands like the tennis players and the cute yoga girls wear. The sweat just running down my face, into my eyes, and I don't mind sweating. Sweating's not the deal. It's the fact that it starts getting distracting. You get to where you can't see, and that just detracts from the whole idea of what we're trying to do. So, problem is, I have to go to the Walmart, and my biggest goal when I go to Walmart is to get out of the Walmart. That's my thing. So, I need to make some sort of note next time. Except, who knows? And then if you're not careful, you wipe a whole armful of sunscreen in your eyes and you really can't see. I need to get me a sweatband or 5. And then if you're not careful, you wipe a whole armful of sunscreen in your eyes and you really can't see. I need to get me a sweatband or 5. What we got right there is a very sick young whitetail buck. Probably has blue tongue. Getting to be that time of year. That deer is not doing well. Okay. I'm probably a quarter mile farther up the river than I was last time I was here. And I've hit a pretty good riffle. And that gravel bar is really big. Now this gravel bar is the same as it always was, except of course it's different. But I remember this one. There's like 1/8 of a mile of just rivulets and gravel here. So I think I'm going to beach the boat and go ahead and do some serious arrowhead hunting along with that wood duck up there. I think that's what I'm going to do, because it is just, folks, it's hot. I'm sweating. Sexy, I know. But there's a limit to it. The fun just ain't happening if I'm going to have to die to do this. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to beach the boat safe here. And there's probably, at least, I can't see from here. It used to be this thing was well, it was a quarter mile gravel, but at least 1/8 mile of nothing but little rivulets running through, because it's great trapping stuff, I remember. Anyway, so that's the plan of action. We'll see if we can make this work. I haven't seen any places where the beaver are denning. They're probably underneath the root wads up on the banks. But they are sure whacking that corn and dragging it down. Well, it ain't fancy, but there's something. Been napped on. Oh. Look at that. Look at that. They took the end of that rock and made it down into a tool. Isn't that cool? Look at that. That's just far out. Not pretty, maybe a one-time deal. You just never know. That's what it is though, napped all the way around. Big old flake stripes, like a core that they decided to try to make something out of. And that's just groovy, I like that. It ain't great and beautiful and whatever, but it's still cool. And it's mine. If you're watching my channel here for the first time, I don't hardly ever apologize anymore. I just don't find the stuff like I used to. And a lot of people on YouTube seem to find a lot more than I do. Someday I will. I'll get into them and hopefully y'all will be along for the ride. But it is what it is. I am what I am. And the hours I spend trying to find stuff compared to what I used to, it's amazing. Look at that. Made a, kind of made a real pretty big old, look at that big old flake strut off of that. That sucker, you can do some serious work with it. It's probably a stupid thing to say and a good way to jinx myself, but this stretch is of course different than it was last time I was up here, probably 12 years ago maybe. I don't know, it's been a long time, been too long. But this next stretch here I found 4 Daltons on before, 4 complete Daltons, some broken stuff. Don't know why. There's a little bit more water over here than there used to be, so I'm not going to go as far as I thought. It's hot. But I'm just baiting y'all for probably nothing. But 4 complete Daltons we found on this 125 yard stretch. I'm just 15 yards past where I find that tool. This may be nothing, but it's been napped on. Gotta pick it up. Oh, broken big old back of or whatever. That was a massive blade. Oh my gosh, that thing was a chunk. If it was ever, has inclusion, it probably broke when it was building it. That big old inclusion didn't nap well, so. I've been saying a few times in my last videos, I feel like I'm following a lot of people. I can't say that today so far. I'm, close to a mile from where I put in at. I have not seen the first footprint from a human, fire ring, cigarette butt, all the things I've been finding out in the middle of nowhere. So for some reason, when I'm on these creeks and rivers, it makes me want to write music and sing. You know what that should tell y'all? Dale, please get off the rivers and creeks. I've probably walked a quarter-mile upstream from the kayak, starting to wish I brought the water jug. But I saw this, and this has changed, but this gravel bar right here is where my ex-best friend found a Dalton, and a couple years later I found another one almost the exact same spot, which is about guarantees there'll never be another one found here. But you know, there was a reason 2 of them was there. Let's go look at it. So as always, things have changed. This gravel bar is at least probably 8-10 foot taller than what it was last time I was here. It's in a little bend and S-curve in the river. And again, about, I don't know, 12, 14, 15 years ago, maybe longer, guy I used to hunt with found a really cool gray and green Dalton here. It's not rock from around here. I never did really get to look at it. It was almost perfect. Had a little weird tip, and he took it home and napped the tip back on it like an idiot. A couple years later, I come back in here and I found another one within 10 feet, and it was all right, somewhere right in there. It's hard to say. So here I am again. Who knows? So it's just romanticism of it. I found 2 more back where I just was. I only looked at part of that. I'll hunt the rest of it going back. So it don't mean nothing to most people, but I have found more stuff. Ooh, that's hot. Found more stuff in this little stretch. Chunks, cheap pieces and chunks, and That's a core right there. It had some big old flakes drawn off. I started getting that pretty crystal and I had to give up on it. I just now picked another one up here behind me and put in my backpack. I may try and nap it later. Right here in this 25-foot stretch has been several flakes, several cores, several beat up spalls, but no points. I can't believe it. Oh, it's broke. I don't care. Look, I did it again. Oh, it's the magic gravel bar. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Sure enough. What is the deal with this gravel bar? That thing was ugly the day it was made, but you know what? There you are, y'all. I'm so tickled. It's so hot. And again, if it ain't perfect, I don't care. Who knows how it broke? That thing was ugly. Oh, but it's Dalton. Number 5 from this gravel bar, from this stretch. I looked down at that thing, I couldn't hardly breathe. I still can't breathe. It's so hot. I'm dying. Dalton. Look at that. I don't care if it's broke. They're magic, however they come. Laying right there on top for me to find all these thousands of years later. I still have a fair bit to hunt here, but I'm done. I'm gonna hunt this and go back to my floating wagon. Maybe I can find another one. Look at that, y'all. Number 5. And I haven't been here in, I said, years and years. And it was a bugly one to start with. Look at that. Oh, that made my day, made my month. Yeah, I don't care if it's broke. If you don't like brokes, go somewhere else. Click that unsubscribe, I don't care. Oh, success. 58-year-old man, sweating and laughing like a little kid at Christmas. You're damn right. I really don't have anything to prove to anybody except this YouTube stuff. Makes you work harder at it. Flake. I saw something up here. I found that Dalton right in there somewhere. So it's making me dig a little deeper, which is okay. Everybody challenge yourself once in a while. I don't know about killing yourself for a challenge, but big old chunk of petrified wood, I'll bet, right there. Look at that. Big old chunk. I'm not taking that back. Don't tell my wife. I can wade out in that water too and cool down, but I'm not. It looks nasty, but it's probably pretty good. It's not as cool as these creeks around here are cool. There's a lot more springs. There's springs on this one. There's a massive spring. But it's a couple miles up from here, but it's not enough to keep this thing cool. That water's in the 80s, which is still better than the upper 90s as it is out here. And listen to me ramble. Ramble on. I mentioned it's hot. I found a Dalton. I tell you guys, I found a Dalton. Yeah. Oh, that's just so cool. But we are not in Dalton country as far as on dry ground. I've only found a handful ever. This river and the couple biggest creeks that feed it, I found most that Dalton's ever found in this part of the country. Don't know why or where they come from. Somewhere there's something happening upstream, obviously. And there's been a lot of Daltons found in this river. I mean, you talk to people in this way, find a Dalton. So, heading back down the river now. Had a sandwich, drank some water and some Powerade, sat in the shade, and almost feel human again. There's a lot of stuff I haven't looked at today. There always is. So I'm thinking I may stop on one more gravel bar down here. I had 2 portages coming up, but I'm pretty sure I can float through both of them going back. So we're going to see. Meanwhile, I'm going to be checking out these banks where I can. I just pulled this off the bank over there, and it really ain't much of nothing. But it is a big old pretty napped on spall. About 3 foot up on the bank. Ain't that pretty? I don't think it was never a tool. It's way too deep and not have chips off of it to ever make anything. You never make a point. Too thin, but isn't that cool? Pretty stuff. I mentioned it was hot. So I've got to drag my boat now about 35 yards and about 65 foot. It may take a minute. I mentioned I found a Dalton. Thanks for watching, y'all. Really appreciate it. I know I ramble on, but it's pretty cool. Very hot day on the river. I'm Dale Verts. Check y'all later. God bless. One more time, it's hot. I'm pretty sure I'm going to throw this shirt away when I get home. It's been a vessel with me for a long time, but it's screaming. It don't like me very much right now.